All right, hello everybody. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello, hello. So good to see you. Wow, look at all you guys. Everybody looks like you've got a lot of energy. Hopefully you've had some caffeine. I see a baby. Aw, babies and puppies, guys. Let me tell you, I see any babies or puppies. I'm super happy. I love this. The best part about Zoom is that I get to see lots of puppies. So at any point, feel free to interrupt me and show me your puppy. I will not care. That is okay. I hope you guys are having a great day or evening or wherever you are. Hopefully you can hear me. You can see me. We're in for a good time. I see Sarah Fleming's puppy. Look, how cute. Yes, I can't, whenever I see a dog on Zoom, my attention just goes straight to that. So I'll show you my dog a little bit later. I've prepared pictures, don't worry. So I see some familiar faces. I saw some of your videos. I see Sophia Sultana. Hi, I saw your video. Sarah, I saw your video down in Australia. Mahi, I saw your video. Actually, I saw BB Patino blog. I saw one of your videos. Laura, I like your hair. It's really cool. All kinds of really cool stuff going on here. So who's Cas Yanez? I love your background. It's really awesome. Can you send me some of that neon for my house? I think I need it. So I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I know you guys have been through a few of these different sessions, so I tried to prepare some stuff that hopefully is a little bit different and unique, and hopefully will give you some value. I'll try not to be too boring, but I do a lot of Zoom classes for my students. I'll tell you a little bit more about my background in just a moment. Some of my students say I'm really boring professor, so I apologize in advance if I'm boring. I'll try to keep it light and try to have fun. All right, so if at any time you guys have a question, feel free to just drop it in the chat. As you know, at the end, we'll have a little Q&A here. And so, yeah, why don't we just jump into it? We've only got 2 hours and we have lots of cool stuff to do. I've prepared a lot of information. So I think my screen is being shared, right? Or do I need to share it? Go mute. This one. All right, there we go. So welcome to becoming a K-influencer. What an original title, right? I worked really hard on that one. So today I'm going to try just walking you through a little bit about my journey as a YouTuber here in Korea, as well as a little bit about the process that I go through and things that I have learned over the last few years of being a YouTuber. So hopefully you'll find some value out of it. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a coffee, and let's see if I can teach you something. All right, so what we're going to do today, I'm going to start with kind of a self-introduction, tell you a little bit about me and the reason I'm doing this whole YouTube thing, a little bit about my journey. Then we're going to move into some content management stuff, some content production. Then we'll take a little break time so you don't have to listen to my voice for 2 hours in a row. Then I've prepared some feedback for 5 of you, and then we'll go into Q&A. So definitely think of some questions. I love answering questions. So let's jump into it. So if you don't know me, and I know some of you probably don't, because I think some of the other influencers have been here have been a lot bigger, a lot more famous. So don't worry, I won't hold it against you, but I'll introduce myself a little bit, tell you about me. So I think I'm exploring Korea through food and travel. So this is one of my favorite quotes that I think kind of sums up my channel and kind of my life philosophy. It says, if I'm an advocate for anything, it's to move as far as you can, as much as you can, across the ocean, or simply across the river, walk in someone else's shoes, or at least eat their food. It's a plus for everybody. All right. So this is by a man named Anthony Bourdain. I don't know if do you guys know Anthony Bourdain? Is anybody familiar with his travel shows? If you're not, I'm going to talk about him in a few different ways throughout my journey and throughout my PPT. So these are just some of the few pictures of kind of my travels within Korea and different things that I do. Cass saw my videos, fantastic. I hope you weren't bored with them. All right, so who is Taste Seoul Good? So by the way, my name is Paul. I don't think I told you. Hi, I'm Paul. So I am an American. I'm from Indiana, near Chicago, if you're not familiar. If anybody is on that side of the world. Good evening to you. You're up awfully late. I first came to Korea in 2009, and so it was a long time ago. So I haven't been here the whole time, but I've been here on and off since 2009. So it's almost my 12-year anniversary this month since I first arrived in Korea. So a lot of things have changed, but the reason I kind of moved to Korea was going back to Anthony Bourdain. He did travel shows and food shows, and he did a series here in Seoul, and I was so mesmerized by it. And the lights and the architecture and the culture and of course the food. And so I literally changed kind of my career path, my life path. At that time, I was actually a flight attendant, believe it or not. Yeah, I was a little younger, a little thinner, you know. COVID weight is really all. This quarantine weight, ooh, it's not pretty, is it? But yeah, so I saw his show. So I literally decided I was going to move to Korea for what I thought was 1 year, and it turned out to be a little bit longer, but that is all right. So I came here as an English teacher. So back in 2009, I was teaching like ABCs to little kids in what we call a hagwon, which is basically an English academy. And it's an interesting experience, but you also get to really see a lot about Korea and the inner workings of it. And I loved it. And ever since then, I kind of moved up. Now I'm actually working at a college, and I'm kind of come full circle. I'm actually working at a college teaching English to flight attendants. It's kind of cool. So I began YouTube in 2018, so just about 3 years ago. So the reason that I started YouTube, so I told you kind of the reason I moved to Korea was Anthony Bourdain had inspired me and taught me about Korea, because back then YouTube wasn't very popular and there wasn't a lot of information about Korea. So it was like coming to a whole new world, right? We didn't have people like you guys who are out there educating people and telling us about Korea. So I was really coming into something that was really unknown. And then in 2018, I was living here and I had a trip planned. I wanted to go to Bali. And now I don't really watch TV. I don't have Netflix, Hulu. I don't know who Hulu is, none of that, but I watch YouTube. I love watching travel YouTubers. So if you guys are into like Mark Wiens from Migrationology or Mina O, right? There's so many of these, Cup of TJ, all these big travel YouTubers that I love, and I tune in. I know the schedule, right? Every Sunday night, there's going to be Sam and Audrey, and every Sunday night is Best Ever Food Review Show at 10 p.m. So I know all of this. Like that's my life, is watching food and travel YouTubers. But I thought I was never good enough. I was like, I'm boring. I've never edited a video. I don't have a good camera. I just have a cell phone, But in 2018. Unfortunately, in June, Anthony Bourdain passed away. And that was really a big catalyst to me. It was really, it kind of affected me because he had encouraged me to move to Korea in a way. And through a lot of my life, I learned so much about him, and then he passed away. And so it inspired me to become a YouTuber. Actually, and that's when I started. I started my channel on the day he passed away. And that's kind of been the catalyst for a lot of my YouTube explorations over the years. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I'm also a dog daddy. As you guys can see down here, these are my boys. They are this cute one right here. This is JK. He looks like an angel, but actually he's a devil, you guys. Don't let the cute face fool you, because he is a little bit of a monster. I love him dearly though. And this other one, this is Indy. So Indy, they're both Malteses. They're both seniors. They're pretty old, but I love them dearly. All right, and then finally, I'm a foodie, and my YouTube channel is called Tastes Seoul Good. All right, so let's move on. So a little bit about my channel. So again, I started it in 2018. It's focused on Korean food and traveling in a more kind of lighthearted and fun way, I hope. Thanks, guys. I'll tell Indy and JK, you guys think they're cute. They are. I'm on vacation now, so I get to spend a lot of time with them, so they're really happy. All right, so my channel is currently at about 29,000 subscribers, so it's not a huge channel. It's not, one of the bigger channels, but it's, it's doing all right. I'm satisfied with it. And throughout the years, I've worked with various companies and tourism organizations and introduced Korea and Korean food in different varieties by working with different companies and being asked to participate in different events and festivals and even things like this. This is a huge honor to be talking to all of you K-influencers here. I currently am also doing weekly live tours of Korea on Facebook. So I moved it from YouTube to Facebook, but I think it's kind of the part of being an influencer is that you should try to be on 2 platforms, right? Have YouTube as kind of your main, then have like a sub section. And we'll talk about why I do it on Facebook in a little bit. But yeah, so every Sunday morning, I go around somewhere in Korea with a camera and I give live walking tours and talk to my subscribers. You guys should come join sometime. But my YouTube, just like you guys, I started with 0 subscribers, I had 0 views, and I had 0 experience, guys. I had never edited a video. I didn't know what I was doing. I was nervous, I was awkward, I was scared, I was just a total mess. Like I was the last person. I'm like, who's gonna ever watch my videos? Well, apparently some people do enjoy my videos. So just like you started with 0 subs and 0 views, and don't let that be discouraging because everybody, all of us, we all started with those same zeros, right? So don't let that be discouraging. All right, and so just to give you a little bit more kind of toot my own horn, toot. No, just a little bit of credibility. I've done, I've been featured in different newspapers around Korea for promoting Korean food and culture. I was recently invited to participate in what's called the Global Influencer Network here in Korea, which is a group of influencers who live here and promote Korea, run by a guy named Hugh. I've won multiple awards for my content. So the bottom picture, that's from the Korean Tourism Organization about Seoul. The top picture, I just won a decent amount of money. I was pretty happy for a contest promoting Jeollabuk-do, which is a province down in the south part. So there was like 100 contestants and I was able to win that. So that was really a big source of pride for me. I've also been able to do some pretty cool collaborations and meet people that I had, been watching for years on this side of the camera, and then all of a sudden it's like we're working together. So you guys all know DK TV, I'm sure. So I was able to do a video on their channel, and I was recently on Asian Boss, which was pretty cool. But a lot of things changed back in 2019 when this guy, his name is David Hoffman, he runs a channel called David's Been Here, and he was visiting Korea. And he emailed me and was like, hey, I see Korean food. Do you want to meet up and hang out? And so that's what I did. So I did some videos with him, and that was a really cool moment in my life because I had watched David for years. He does a lot of stuff in India. So I know some of you are from India, so maybe you're familiar with David. If not, he's a pretty big YouTuber based out of Miami. Now, last year I did some vlogging for something called Discover Korea Live. Maybe watched that. They did again this year. I wasn't involved this year, I was involved last year. So just a lot of cool opportunities. So the hard work really does pay off. All right, but enough about me because that's it's kind of boring about me. All right, so this is a short little video. I'm not even gonna bother showing you, but it's just about content management. So I want to get to kind of the core, right, of what advice I can give you. So again, I tried to come up with some information that I thought might be a little unique that maybe you haven't been told by other people in these workshops. So there are multiple stages to producing a video. And so I think as YouTubers, when we're starting, we only focus on the production, right? We're only focused on getting the good camera and the lights and the editing. And we're like, oh my God, what about my camera? The camera or this and that. And that is important, but we have to, we have to crawl before we walk, right? So the first thing that I think is really important is planning, pre-production. So he who fails to plan is planning to fail. I'm sure you guys have all heard that. I think it's super true in the YouTube world. So this is where I want to start off with, right? So when we're just starting, so 3 things that I want to let you know about. So first is to define your niche or niche. I'm not quite sure. I'm not very confident how you say that word. So don't judge me, sorry. Niche or niche. We always say The riches are in the niches. That's why the riches are in the niches. That doesn't make sense. But when you are very laser focused, right, in what kind of content you are producing and what your theme is, it's going to be good for many things. One of them is later on in the future when you want to get sponsorships, guys, and you want companies to reach out to you. If you have videos about a million different things, nobody's going to reach out for you, right? What you want to do is you want to become a specialist in one area. So if all of you guys are doing Korea, there's so many different facets in Korea, right? Are you doing Korean beauty? Are you doing Korean fashion? Are you doing K-pop reactions? Are you doing food and travel? If so, you're my competition. I got my eyes on you. There's a few of you guys who are, I've got my eyes. You guys are really good. Right? I'm joking. The more the merrier. That's how we all lift each other up, right? If one of us succeeds, we all kind of succeed in this, which is the great thing about, being a YouTuber. You're not in a vacuum. You're working together. So it's really great for all of us. I forgot where I was going with that, but basically you want to become the person who does videos about something, right? So if somebody sees me like, oh, aren't you that guy who makes videos about Korean food? Yeah, that's me. I'm the guy who makes videos about Korean food, right? But if I see you and I'm like, hey, aren't you that girl who makes aren't you that girl who makes videos about gardening and League of Legends walkthroughs and BTS dance reactions, right? It's really, you're not really going to reach a certain person. So you really want to focus in on that. Become the person who does videos about something and make it, one or two words. That's going to help you out a lot. And also if you have, if you give all these videos about reaction and you get an audience, and then the next one is like, hey guys, this is my kimchi jjigae recipe. The people who came just for BTS reactors might not care about the kimchi jjigae recipe. So you want to, keep everything very consistent. Next, research your TTT. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this, but TTT stands for title, topic, and thumbnail. So this is kind of the overall package of what your video is. So you need to think of, before you ever pick up a camera, start thinking, okay, what is my title going to be? What is going to get people to watch this? If I can't think of a good title, then maybe this should just be a picture that I post on Instagram and not a whole full-fledged video, right? Not every idea that we come up with, guys, is a good idea for a YouTube video. Sometimes it's just better to take a 30-second video and put it on as a clip, a reel or a story. The topic is so important. If what you're looking for is really interesting to you, but not very interesting to anybody else, who's going to watch it? You don't have an audience. So you need to think of what are things that are relevant to people. And then finally, the thumbnail. The thumbnail is something that we often kind of overlook because we think, oh, it's just a thumbnail, it's just a picture, right? I've spent 20 hours editing this video and scripting it and filming it. Oh, I need to do a thumbnail. So I throw something together really quick and then nobody watches it. We don't know why. Why? It's because your thumbnail is not really, very good. And thumbnails are, for me, terrible. I dislike it. It's one of my least favorite things in the whole video production process is the thumbnail. But you need to think about it before you ever start filming, not after, right? You need to think about what is going to be my thumbnail. And you need to start, try taking actual photos. So if I'm eating a food and my video is about, trying this market, right? I'm going to Guangzhou market. Maybe I'm going to, make sure I have a video or a picture, a still picture, because when you screen capture, the quality is never as good. So try to, pose for a picture or just plan that out. So once you have your TTT, your title, your topic, and your thumbnail, at least the idea, then you're kind of ready to start the process. And then there's two different types of videos, trendy videos versus evergreen videos. And especially as new YouTubers, that maybe don't have a lot of content yet, you really want to balance these two things. So trendy content are things that maybe have high search volume because they're very popular right now, but maybe low competition because it's so new. And if you can be the first or one of the first people to get that content out there, you're almost guaranteed to get a lot of views. Right? This is why reaction channels work so well, because if permission to dance comes out and I want to do that reaction video, I'm not going to do it 3 weeks later, right? I'm going to do it like as soon as I can, because that's what people are researching, right? Permission to dance reaction. And if I'm at the top of that, I'm going to get so many views. But that content, since it's a trend, isn't going to last long. It's not, in 6 months, nobody's going to be researching that. I kind of like the BTS meal from McDonald's, right? Everybody, every influencer, every Instagrammer and YouTuber and everybody was at McDonald's at 11 a.m. that day, including me. I was at McDonald's at Seoul Station, y'all taking the pictures, trying to take the reels, doing all of that, right? And I got lots of shares on Twitter and all of this stuff, but now nobody cares. Why? Because the trend is done. So it's a very short shelf life, but it can give you a lot of exposure really quickly. Versus evergreen content, which is basically going to be relevant forever, or at least a very long time. So a lot of the content that I saw you guys were doing were, things like, things I learned about living, or things I learned about traveling in Korea, or my impressions of Korea, right? Those are kind of evergreen. People are going to search for those for a long time. So by balancing the two, I'd say like 80% evergreen, 20% trends, you're going to have a good balance, and you're going to be able to get found, and you're going to be able to sustain it, right? I have videos from 2 or 3 years ago that still get views every day, right? I'm sleeping and I'm getting views and subscribers and money from those, right? Nobody's going back to my videos about, last year there was green onion checks. Did anybody hear that? The green onion checks mix in Korea. Y'all, I tell you, I left work early. I went scouring the stores. I wanted to be the first person to put a YouTube review about green onion checks. And it did pretty well because there's no competition for that. Now nobody cares. But when I put up a video about 50 things to do in Busan, that's going to get views for years to come. And I know that. And so sometimes you have to also put in what we call like a hero video. And the hero video is one that you put so much effort and time and energy into because you think it's going to be the one that just does really well for you. And so you want to try to balance all of those different types of videos. Is good so far? All make sense? Good. All right, fantastic. All right, so kind of moving into the production aspect. So be discovered. So a video that can't be found can't be watched. Okay, so SEO stands for search engine optimization. It is vital, guys. So if you know the #1 search engine in the world is Google, right? Google's the largest search engine in the world. #2 is YouTube. Yeah, Google owns YouTube, but YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine in the world. And it has a very robust search engine. So you can get your videos found very easily, or maybe not very easily, but very, simply, if you can be found in search. But if you put the best video out, guys, and you don't put a description, or you put a really terrible title, your video is never going to come up in search. Nobody's going to find it. If I can't find your video, I can't watch it. Right? So think about your keywords and research them. There's a lot of applications such as TubeBuddy or vidIQ. They can help you with finding keyword phrases. But that's, there's different ways your videos are found. But as a newbie, search is really important. You want to study keyword phrases. So if I am putting out a video, rather than put like Korea, because if I go to YouTube and I put in Korea, I'm never going to find my videos, right? There's too many popular people who have been to Korea. I'm never going to get to that. So I want to put some like traveling to Korea in 2021. or traveling to Korea as a solo female traveler in 2021. If I put that in my title and my description, then I'm more likely to get found for those long keyword phrases. Right? And I'm sure other YouTubers have told you, but collaborations are also great way to gain exposure. Yeah, I see some of your guys' comments, your questions as well. Color twins talking about clickbait. We're gonna get a whole thing about clickbait. We'll get to that. All right. And Mahi, we'll get to your questions in a little bit as well. So yeah, keep the questions coming. We'll save them, right? So as you think about them, you can type them and we can review them at the end. All right. So the first step is I'm discovered, I'm found in search. Later, as you grow, you'll get suggested. But first you have to get found in search. Right? And hopefully you guys are studying your analytics. We're going to look at analytics in just a little bit. But after you're discovered, you need to win the click. So if I put in, traveling to Korea as a solo female traveler, and I get a list of videos, I need to be the one that stands out. This is where my title and my thumbnail come into play, right? I need to have a really strong title and thumbnail that pops. And then win the click. Guys, mostly ladies, maybe not all ladies, but on my screen, I think it's all ladies. there's more screens here. So ladies, and if there's any gentlemen on the other screens, you too. And anybody who identifies any other way. Becoming successful on YouTube is very simple, right? It's not easy, but it's simple. You need two things. One, you have to get people to watch your video. Two, you need to keep them watching. If you can do those two things, you're golden. The longer people watch your videos, the more success you'll have. And we're gonna get into that in just a minute. That's when we talk about clickbait. This is the most important thing that I think I want to highlight for you guys is that you need, once you get them watching, you need to keep them watching. It's not good enough just to click on your video and then go off. It's going to kill your engagement and just ruin your video. So you want to study your AVD, and AVD stands for your average view duration. This is how long a viewer watches your video. The more a viewer watches your video, the more YouTube thinks, oh, that's a good video. That's a good channel. Oh yeah, you know what? Christine Ann is making a video about this and people are watching 60% of it. Let's show this to more people. This is the key metric. So everything I do in the pre-production and the editing process and the sound and the lighting, all of it is to keep the viewer watching. I don't want them to go to anybody else's video. I want to keep them right here. I want to be selfish and, I want to pull them in and then keep them. You also want to try to make binge-worthy topics and series. How many of you guys have sat down to watch Netflix? Like, I'm going to watch just one episode. Next thing you know, 10 hours later, you've watched this drama and this comedy and this movie. And you're like, whoa, it's 5 a.m., That's kind of what we want to do as well. If our videos are structured, and this is why the niche is so important, if we have similar content that we can suggest to them, and YouTube will do this for you, then if you have a video about how to make kimchi jjigae, and I watch it, YouTube might say, they have a video about how to make kimchi jjigae or kimchi pancake. Maybe that viewer will enjoy that as well. So then they'll serve that video to them. And then you're gonna get 2 videos watched. It's gonna be 2 views. And if they watch 2 videos, they're probably gonna subscribe. Playlists are also great. And this is, so we talk about average view duration. We also have something called session view duration, which is basically how many videos they watch from you. YouTube wants you to watch as many videos as possible. Remember, guys, YouTube is a business. They're there to make money. How does YouTube make money? By serving ads, right? Every time a company pays money to YouTube to show an ad, they're making money. So YouTube, they want viewers to stay on their platform. They don't want you to watch 2 minutes of YouTube and then go to Twitter, or 2 minutes and then go to TikTok, because YouTube doesn't make money that way. So they want to do everything they can to get you watching more and more and more, because then they can throw more ads your way. The more ads they serve, the more money they're making. So this is why your average view duration is so fast. So who was it? Mahi was asking about clickbait. That's why clickbait is actually so terrible, because people will see the title and the thumbnail and they're like, oh, this is gonna be a cool video. They watch it and they're like, nah, this isn't what I wanted. And they go off. And that average view duration is very small. And so YouTube will penalize that video and not serve it to anybody else, because it's not promising to, it's not fulfilling the promise. So you leave a little mystery, but also try to promise, give what you promise in the TTT. And then finally, your CTA, your call to action, right? Your call to action is just what you want your subscriber to do. Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, all right? Don't go overboard. You guys know some of these YouTubers out there, they're out there like, hey, remember to like, subscribe, comment, press the bell icon, ding, ding, sing a song, share the video, tell your mom, blah, 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 blah. Right, it's like 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm not doing any of it. No, it's terrible, right? Give me one, maybe two things to do, but tell me why. Hey guys, if you want to see more great content about traveling through the rural areas of Korea, then you're gonna want to click that subscribe button right here, right? And so I'm telling you why. You want this, then do this. But if you just say, hey guys, like, comment, subscribe, why? Why should I? Or you say, oh, help. It really helps me if you subscribe. Well, maybe I don't want to help you. I don't know you. You know what? You got to help. Uh-oh, I see a kitty. Laura, I see a kitty. Oh, hi, kitty. Oh, how cute. See, I told you I can't focus with animals. I get so happy. Yeah, I also, personal preference, guys, I think your call to action should go in the middle or the end of the video. Don't be like, hey guys, welcome to my channel. Before we begin, click subscribe. Because we don't know why I should subscribe. You have to tell me at the end after I know the value. Hopefully you guys are studying your analytics. So YouTube has so much powerful information, and at first it's very overwhelming. But once you get in there and you learn about what all of these graphs and these charts represent, you can tailor your editing and your filming and your titles and your thumbnails and everything. All right, so if we look at the first one here on the left, these aren't my examples, right? I found these off YouTube. This is what we call audience retention. This is basically your AVD, your average view duration, right? And we see it down here. So in this case, most viewers average watching 2 minutes and 55 seconds of this video, which is a 13-minute and 7-second video. People are watching not even 3 minutes. That's not good. That means it's a pretty lousy video that's not keeping viewers' attention for some reason. So when I see this, I think, okay, I need to maybe shorten my video. I need to find out why people aren't watching longer. Because once you keep them watching longer, that video is going to be served to more people, right? And they're watching 22.4%. So you can see here at the beginning, we have really high numbers, right? It should be 100 actually, but then really quickly, within the first 10 seconds or so, there's a quick decline. That means people are clicking your video and then clicking out. This is why the first 10 to 30 seconds of your video is so important, because if I watch your video and the first 10 seconds is terrible, I'm just going to go to the next video. I don't think nobody got time for terrible videos these days, So you really want to focus on that. We call this the hook. Hook them in, make them be interested in that first 10 to 30 seconds. Because you want to, at the end, have this graph be as blue as possible, right? As close to 100 as possible. I would say your AVD, try to aim, maybe as a beginner for, 40%. If they can watch 40% of your video, you're probably off to a pretty good start. If this is like 10%, that means you're not on the right track. You need to really think about it. And with all of this on YouTube, you can find out, right? So I can see like there's, in this area, people are really clicking off. And This area, there's a big decline. Why? I can go back to that video and find out, okay, maybe there was something wrong with my microphone at that moment, or maybe my background music was just too loud. And so people were like, I don't want to watch this. Whatever it was, we can go back and fix that for the next video. And so try to study your audience retention. The next chart here, this is your click-through rate, your CTR, right? This is how many people are watching your videos. So this is 11.3. So if YouTube shows your thumbnail 100 times, approximately 11 times, people are clicking yours, which is pretty good, right? If you can get this into double digits, 10% or higher, you're probably off to a pretty good start. Ideally, a high click-through rate and a high average view duration. Guys, this is what you want. Improve, improve. So rather than maybe worrying about, like, oh, I need a good ring light. Oh, I can't make a video because I don't have this lens. No, all I need to do is figure out how can I get people to click my video, and then how can I get them to keep watching. Those are the two metrics that you have to do. Everything after that is golden. My most viewed videos, one of them just hit 1 million views. They're like 26 minutes, but people are watching them right until the end. The average view duration is 18 minutes or something kind of crazy. But YouTube loves that. Like, wow, 18 minutes, we can serve an ad every 3 to 4 minutes. YouTube's like, cha-ching, cha-ching. So they start thinking they're going to earn money. So they're like, hey, everybody, watch this video, watch this video, watch this video. But if people are only watching, a few seconds of it, it doesn't benefit YouTube, so it's not going to benefit you. YouTube has all the power in this. Yeah. All right, so how to make titles. Again, one of the things that is really difficult for me, but unlike editing, titles and thumbnails, you can keep changing. You can test it, right? Sometimes I put something up for a month and I'm like, this click-through rate isn't working. So I'll write it down on an Excel sheet and then go back and fix it and then leave it for a month and see what happens. If it's evergreen content, even if it's really low, it can go up later, right? You can get it to work. So this is a good kind of easy hack, right? When I make a title, a number plus an adjective plus a keywords. We want to have keywords plus a promise, something that you're going to give to the viewer. This isn't going to work for every video, and it's not going to work every time, but it's a good strategy when you can. Right? For example, exposing 8 viral video tricks that will blow your mind. Right? So I have a number, 8. I have an adjective, viral. I have keywords, video tricks, and promise. I promise this will blow your mind. Don't you want to click that video? Aren't you interested? Like, oh God, I have no choice. I have to click that video, right? And then with numbers like this, people will watch it because they don't want to watch 1, 2, and 3. They're like, well, I have to learn the rest. Or 7 shocking secrets K-pop idols don't want you to know about. Dun, dun, dun. I want to know. All right, you got information, you got value. You want to tell me? Okay, I want to know. So I'm going to click that video right now, y'all. Or 10 surprising things you'll experience when visiting Seoul. So I know some of you guys had produced videos about very similar things, right? Things that you experienced when you were visiting Korea. Mike says, some people put their keywords in capital letters, so can we do it? I always say, don't put, personally, I hate when people put all capital letters. You can, this is very common. Every first letter, E, B, V, T, make those capital. You can also choose 1 or 2 words that are really important, right? So this one here is all capital. That's just because of my font choice. That's not what I would actually put. So maybe 10 surprising things you'll experience when visiting Seoul. Maybe I'll make it this big so it stands out. But you want to, again, stand out. You want to win that click. So if everything is capitalized, nothing's going to stand out. So choose maybe one word or two that you really want to pop and put that. Excuse me. But whenever somebody puts all capital letters, I think it looks messy. I think it looks almost annoying. Okay, I don't want to watch that. So yeah, number, adjective, keyword, promise. Again, not going to work for every situation and every video, but give it a shot. It's production. Ooh, I'm talking too much. Let me speed up a little bit. All right, so you got to that whole pre-production. So we get to the production. So we have audio. Audio is so important. Guys, audio is so important. Remember, people will forgive bad video, but they'll never forgive bad audio. Most people these days are watching YouTube on their cell phone. A lot of people are watching it, in 480 or 720. So even if it's not HD, most people don't care because they're using cell data. But if your audio is terrible, nope, done. Next, on to the next one. Really focus on good audio. Video is important though. Do what you can, keep them engaged, keep them watching. Average view duration, y'all, that is the trick. And a storyline. And hopefully I'll tell you a little bit more about storyline in just a bit. I'm going to try to go through this a little bit quicker because I'm rambling. All right, audio. So if I were to invest in anything as a new YouTuber, microphone. I definitely think microphones are so vital. There's so many different types of microphones. You can get them for as low as like $5, you guys, or you can spend $1,000 on a professional mic. Pretty much anything will be better than just your regular cell phone. Using background music and sound effects, really helpful if you use them correctly. And your editing software. So I'm not sure what editing software everybody uses, but I use Adobe Premiere Pro, and you can fix it a lot. There's also a program called Audacity. And it's a free program you can download, and if you play around with it, you can really like take out the background noise of your whatever you're using. So, if I'm in this room and there's an air conditioner and a fan and there's a refrigerator running, right, all that is background noise. But Audacity or Premiere Pro can just pull that out. And it'll make you sound really easily. Next, editing. Y'all, this is how I edit my videos. If you see one thing, this is my assistant right there. It's JK. JK insists on sitting on my lap. I spend a lot of time on my computers, editing videos, and I had to put this blanket on my lap so JK can sit there, and he just snores and just sleeps. He loves it. So even if it's summertime, guys, I'm at home with a big blanket and my dog on my lap. I'm just the president of Tastes Seoul Good. He's the vice president. He makes all the important decisions. You have to go through JK. I'm editing. This is where the magic happens. So you can learn various skills by watching YouTube videos. If you are using Premiere Pro, there's a channel on YouTube called Story CM. It used to be called Orange 83. And it's a gentleman who makes content about different skills and different things about making content. A wealth of information, easy to follow, short content. So make sure you click his videos if you can. If you're not using Premiere Pro, that's okay. I'm sure there's other people, making content. You can watch 3-minute videos, and if you're like, how do I do this? How can I, use this effect? YouTube, guys. That's why the search engine is so important. Try to develop your own style. Take inspiration from others, but don't be a copycat. Nobody likes copycats. Be original. Be you. Finally, guys, have fun, experiment. When you are editing, this is really your chance to do things that you never thought you could do. And the good thing about it is if you keep your files and you mess up, you're like, whatever, just trash that copy and start over. Right? But also when you try new things, you might just really impress yourself and impress the people who are watching your videos. So have fun. Don't think of editing as this really tedious thing you hate doing. have fun with it. I spent hours and hours just sitting at my desk with JK and we love editing. Right? A few of my editing tips. B-roll. B-roll is so vital. So whenever, if you don't know, A-roll is kind of like the talking. B-roll is everything else. So if I'm going to a restaurant, you know, I want to take some shots of the outside of the restaurant. I want to take shots of the food. I want to take shots of, you know, the cafe and all of this. I take so much B-roll. I don't use it all, but I save it. B-roll will help you when you make a mistake. You just put some B-roll, and the more B-roll, the more longer people are going to watch. Because if you just keep the same scene, like this Zoom call, right? You guys are seeing my face just nonstop. You're like, dang, Paul, I'm tired of your face. Like, can we put something else on the screen, you know? So, you know, keep them engaged. Use transitions wisely. Transitions come in a whole array of things. They're not just in your editing software, but don't ever do that. So don't be like, hey guys, today we're going to talk about Korean culture. I think blah, blah, blah. Like every 5 seconds, I'm like, I feel like I'm at a club or something, like dancing. Like, I need some rave music. But transitions can be, you know, graphics, time lapses, so many different things. I love a good time lapse when used appropriately. It can tell the difference between time and space. And if we have time later, I don't think we will, I could just show you some examples. Cut the fluff. When you're editing, if things aren't smooth, cut it out, right? Don't be afraid, guys. Don't be afraid to just boom, boom, take it out, because you want to keep the people watching. If you get bored editing a video, your viewers are really going to be bored, y'all. And once they're bored, they're gone. They're going on to the next video. You've lost them. So cut the fluff. If you're kind of, you know, if you make a mistake or you just, this whole section just isn't working, take it out. When possible, show me, don't tell me. So if you say, oh, that one time I went to Korea and I went to Lotte World. Okay, great. But if you can, show me a picture, show me a video, show me B-roll, right? And then you can always get other footage legally, non-copyright online. But if you have a picture, I went to Lotte World, boom, show me, you know, show and tell. This is my personal philosophy, I guess. About every 7 to 10 seconds, I try to change something. Either I'm changing an angle, or I'm adding some text, or I'm doing a sound effect, or I'm zooming in a little bit, or I'm, you know, just slightly moving the camera, right? So maybe I'm like, hey guys, today we're going to talk about Korean culture. I like Korean culture because blah, blah, blah. You know, a little smoother than that. Or even if you just crop it in. Hey guys, my name is Paul. And then I zoom in. And today I'm so happy to talk to you. And then zoom back out. This is all going to keep the viewer engaged, which is going to keep them watching, which is going to increase your average view duration, which is going to give you success. See, it all loops back together. Top editing tips. Again, that first 10 or 30 seconds, really focusing on that. If you can learn basic color correction, you don't need much color correction, but just a little saturation, little shadows and highlights, all that stuff can really help you out. Learn L cuts and J cuts. All right, this is one thing that I can't probably teach you this right now, but if you see over here, basically an L cut or a J cut is when I'm taking an audio and I'm taking another video and placing it over so it's smooth, right? I do a lot of food review stuff. So if I take a bite, hey guys, like today I'm going to try this hot dog, and I eat a hot dog and I'm chewing it. Right, it's like 20 seconds of me chewing. You guys are like, okay, what's going on? Like, this is boring. Like, where's my dog? So I cut the video and I bring it in, the audio underneath it. And you can kind of see how that works here. So if this is one video, this is a different video with the audio. I kind of pull it in. So I'm seeing this, but I'm hearing this. Mukbangs, yeah. I try not to do mukbangs, but I see myself as a food reviewer. But yeah, this will really, mukbangs, I guess that's kind of, they don't do that. But for what I like, my style, I like to do these L cuts and J cuts. Maybe you want to research that, because I think we're taking a break at now or 10 minutes. In 10 more minutes? Okay. So I'm going to, so at 12, right? Okay, so I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as I can. Don't be afraid to cut, right? Cut again, cut the fluff. Boom, boom, boom. It's boring. It's out of here. Try to learn a new skill or a feature for each video you edit. So if I'm like, hey, I want to just learn one thing for this video, and I learn how to, do this transition. Boom, I put in that video. Next time, I learn one more skill. You don't have to learn editing all at once. Just learn skill, one at a time. Try to use different angles, right? Close-ups and wide shots and cutaways. Really give the viewer, immerse them in the experience, like they're there with you. And then finally, try to store all your footage on external hard drives. So if you take so much B-roll like I do, I have these hard drives and I keep the footage on there. And it really helped me at a time last year when there was, all this COVID and I couldn't go out, but I had all this extra footage that I could put together, 21 Korean foods to try in 2021. And I didn't have to film anything. I already had all the footage. Right? And these days, even in Korea where, struggling with COVID again, it so makes my videos a little more challenging, but luckily I have B-roll to help me. So yeah, I never throw a video file away, always keep it. Gear, all right, guys, don't stress about getting it. I'm sure every person in these workshops told you the same thing. Don't worry too much about gear off the bat. Learn how to use what you have. If I said, use your back-facing camera whenever possible. So if you are vlogging out in public, turn your camera around. Don't use the selfie cam. Use the back camera. It's really awkward and it takes more time to set up, but your video is going 10 times better. Learn about lighting and stabilizing your video and all of these things. You learn to use what you already have. But if you do want some kind of starter budget, there are cheaper options, of course. But these are things that I love. The Rode Mic Mini, it's really small. You can use it on your phone. It's about $70 or $80. Great quality. It has this big windscreen. We call it a dead cat. You can be in a tornado, you guys, and you will not hear any noise from the wind. It's a great little microphone. The Joby Beamo is it's really small, it's a cube, really bright. You don't need a ring light. You can just take this thing, you can hook it up on your phone. Great, it's a wonderful thing. The DJI Osmo 4 gimbal is about $100 on Amazon. But these three, it'll keep you. So if you're a walk and talker, you're not going to be like, you're just going to be nice and smooth. And you can do nice tilts and pans up and down. And so you can get all this for, $200, $250, but you don't have to get all of them. You could just get one at a time. But kind of a good first step, I think. Or you can go for like an all-in-one option, guys. GoPro, the GoPro 9 is kind of a vlogger's setup these days. Is that front-facing camera, the microphone's better, you get the nice wide lens, you can take it anywhere, you get it for $300 or $400. The DJI Osmo Pocket 2 is fantastic. It's on a gimbal. It has everything. You can buy other accessories, but you're going to get the gimbal and everything, and it shoots in 4K, all that stuff. So these are, you just need one thing. Those are options. But if you really want to splurge, if anybody's like, yo, I'm ready, Christmas is coming, I'm going to tell my mom or my husband or my boyfriend or my girlfriend or whatever to buy me a present, go for this, guys. I love this. The Sony ZV-1. It is a vlogger's dream. It just came out last year and I bought it a few months ago. It is fantastic. There's only one or two things that I would change up, but I think they're making a second version of it. One thing I don't like is it's not very wide. I like a more wide field of view, so it can be a little close. Guys, if you are a vlogger, if you're filming by yourself, I know in your review request, somebody was like, how can I learn like what are some tips for vlogging solo, guys. This camera right here, and it's going to cost $700 or $800. So don't feel the pressure, but if you do, if you've got the money laying around, or some your birthday is coming up and you want to ask for a gift, this camera, you can't go wrong. Of course, I use this in addition to a much more expensive DSLR, but this camera, yeah, I can't say enough great things about it. The flip screen, it has a microphone jack. There's this handle thing that works really well. The ZV-1. And I heard there's a ZV-1, like second version, with an interchangeable lens. But yeah, I'd give it 5 stars. Love it. I don't work for Sony, but if I did, I would tell them, good job, guys. And then kind of the post-production, try to make fans, not subscribers. Fans are even better friends. So build a community. And I think it's important as kind of influencers to have at least 2 platforms. Try to make YouTube your main and then have a second one. So if you have 1,000 subscribers, you can unlock your community tab. You can keep in touch with them, respond to your comments. Live stream, guys, live stream is so crucial these days. It sets you apart. Just like right now, we're on Zoom, right? The Kinfluencer, they could have been like, hey, Paul, record a 60-minute lecture and we'll send it to everybody. But they want to do live stream because it's so important these days. People love it. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to that. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. And build a community off of YouTube. So I told you I use Facebook these days. I know most people use Instagram, which is great, but I'm not good at taking pictures. So I'm like, okay, let me play to my strengths. So I have a Facebook group where I respond to everybody, and we build a community. And so if you see my logo here, Tastes Seoul Good, I had Kinfluencer Palace, Seoul Tower, and Humboldt, but I had this penguin. I'm even wearing a penguin hat today because that's what my community has called themselves, the Penguins. And so there are people from around the world who love Korea and Korean food and Korean culture. And so we go, like I said, every Sunday at 11 a.m., I take them on a tour of South Korea. Last week we went to Gangneung, and I grabbed my cell phone and, we live stream. And it's great because not only are they fans of me, but they're fans of each other. They're friends, they're a family, they're a network. They send me mail from all over the world. This somebody sent from Las Vegas, one of my penguins. I have a second group also, VIP, very important penguins, that they actually pay money to. So they're a part of my journey. Everything I do, right? They're in my logo. So they've automatically, they're not just a subscriber, right? And I can see their face and I can talk to them, and we can live stream. Actually, I do it twice a week. So yeah, definitely try to do that, right? Build your community and they will take care of you, and you're gonna have a much better experience. If anybody wants to become a penguin, you should. It's so much fun. Storyline, we got 3 minutes. Remember, it's YouTube, right? It's not MeTube or iTube or PaulTube. It's YouTube. Focus on the audience, what the audience wants. What value can you give the audience? I was going to tell you another Anthony Bourdain story, but I won't because of time. Just remember, stories need a beginning, a middle, and an end. And keep that beginning really short. Think of TikTok, right? If you go through TikTok, you don't ever get to a TikTok that's like, hey guys, welcome to my TikTok. My name is Paul and blah, right? They just get straight into the action, right? Think of it that way. Do that too, get that first boom. And our goal is to keep them watching. I came up with a whole bunch of examples, guys, that I used in my old videos I wanted to point out. I don't think we're gonna have time to do it, but if anybody wants this link, it's just a few examples I put together. You can message me after. I'll give you my contact information, and I'll be more than happy to send this link to you. You can kind of see a few different things. BB Patino blog, how do they get the name Penguins? Well, it's a long story, but it's from my live stream, basically. We just had a whole penguin coincidence a few times. So during live streams, they, I was playing a game. I went out to Incheon to a place called Womido, and it's actually a long story. You're not interested in it, but we all love penguins. So anytime somebody sees a penguin, they think of me and I think of them, and we just have a great time. But I can send you this link a little bit later. Then yeah, I'll talk to you about this at the end. So we'll go to that after the second session. So I think it's 12. So maybe it's break time now. So you guys can take a break from hearing my annoying voice and seeing my face. So take 10 minutes, guys. Go have a snack, go have a coffee, and I'll see you back in 10 minutes, all right? Keep those questions coming, or I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys, welcome. Oh, thank you. All right, guys, welcome back. Did you miss me? I don't think so. Liars, all of you. All right, cool. Why don't I stop the PPT there? All right, cool. All right, so now we're going to get into some feedback time. So I received a list of a whole bunch of your videos, and I watched every single one of them. And a lot of them are really good. You guys are really talented. I think you're much better beginners than I was 3 years ago. So shout out to all of you guys. So I can only choose 5 of them. So I choose 5 that I thought we could talk about. So for different reasons. So I'll try to give you a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. And but again, this is all kind of my personal style as well. If you forgot the link, so sad, don't worry. I can give you a link later. So why don't we start with our first feedback? And I know this person is here because I saw her. So this is Mahi Sood. So video, this one. All right, oh, I lost them. Still showing. Oh, guys, technical difficult. Oh, there you're back. This is the thing about life. You never know what's going to happen. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Weird. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I think I can't see you, so hopefully you can see me. All right, so let's start with Mahi's video. All right, so first thing that I look at is the title. All right, so it's good you have the English and you have the Korean. What made me attracted to Korea? Okay, Indian teenager explained. See, this is some really nice keyword research. So, you know, if somebody's looking like Indian travel vlog of Korea or something, they can find you. Then I like to look at the description. So you have the English and the Korean. So hopefully you have Korean subtitles. Hello, everyone. Today I explained why I got interested to Korea. I think you can put a little bit more in there, you know, I'm an Indian teenager and I'm interested in Korea, including K-pop and K-food, all this stuff. The more keywords, keyword phrases, it'll help you give in more search terms. All right, so let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this video and then we'll talk about it. We're not going to watch the video. Up there.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be explaining how I got interested or attracted to Korea. Number 1 is K-beauty. Back in the day I used to do a lot of western makeup, so one day I was just scrolling through Pinterest when I found something called Ulchang makeup or something called Korean beauty, and I got interested in it. Yay! I tried doing this new style of makeup.
All right, so let's look there. So really quickly, when we're talking about audio and why people click off, you have to also be cautious of headphone users. So that sound effect is like for me, it was like, oh gosh, like what's happening? Like I'm from Chicago, y'all, we gotta be careful with those loud noises. So I would take the sound effect and, you know, put it down a little bit. So in your editing software, take it down, you know, 10 or 15 decibels. That'll help you out a lot. The same thing at the beginning. I think at the very beginning of the video, like Annyeong, it was like very boom. You know, pull that down a little bit. One thing that I want to remind kind of all of you that I saw when you're talking, especially in a camera or a cell phone.
Hello.
See, your eyes are over here. Right? See, there's a big difference if I'm talking to you looking at the camera versus I'm looking over here, right? So you're looking, I think, Mahi, probably at yourself in the viewfinder or on your cell phone. Don't do that. Learn where the camera is in your phone and look straight in there, right? So it's not always easy to do, but once you do that, if you were looking into the camera, then it looks straight on and people really feel like more of a connection. But overall, I really enjoyed really quickly you give us why you're interested in Korea, you tell me what to expect
or attracted to Korea.
And then, within 9 seconds, you've changed the scene, right? You have a good balance of different angles. And
Number 1 is K-beauty.
see, so you've changed it.
Back in the day, I used to do a lot of.
You've numbered it. I like the numbers. So if you have the numbers here, Mahi, you could also put, 10 things that attracted me to Korea as an Indian teenager.
Western makeup. So one day I was just scrolling through Pinterest when I found something called Ulchang makeup or something called Korean.
And all of this, showing us the example. So as I mentioned earlier, you should show me and not tell me. So this is a really good example of that. So overall, Mahi, I watched your whole video. I was really entertained. There's like a part where like clown makeup, right? I don't know. I was hoping that was intentional. I'm not sure, but it was really funny to me. It kept me entertained. You have lots of good information. So I think you're on the right track. So I think if you keep going with this, just persevere, learn, pull down, work on your audio a little bit, you're gonna really succeed because this is some really good content, much better than I produced at the beginning. I love this, comparing the Korean to the Indian. I know somebody else did that as well. So overall, I think it's a really good start. So shout out to you, Mahi. Good job. All right, so I think we can move on to the next one then. So we have time for Q&A. So this next one is Sophia Sultana. Cute, your name's in Korean. All right, so this is kimbap. So I love kimbap. So when I saw this video, I was like, I'm gonna talk about this one. All right, so let's take a look at this together for a moment.
취미생활의 시작은 장비빨.
Yeah, word from our sponsors.
그럼 일할 땐
When I wake up, I feel cozy, yeah. Can you hold up? Don't need no coffee yet. Got no makeup. How do you look so fine?
Okay, so really quickly, we're at 14 seconds of this song. It's a cute song, but I'm already kind of like, oh, where's the content? I thought there was going to be kimbap. Sophia, you told me there's kimbap, and all I'm hearing is a song. Right? I would just cut this whole thing, honestly. This is that first 10 seconds where viewers will click off. And if you have this in every video, they're going to get bored and then skip ahead. So I would either make this like 3 seconds, like a quick boom, and then move on, or just cut it all together.
Bust up, how did I make you mine?
Hello.
So we're at 18 seconds and you're just now saying hello to me. Imagine like if I meet you in person and for 18 seconds, we just look at each other and then say hello. Right? It's very awkward. But first of all, when I look at just the energy here, like, oh, wow, like I know this is going to be entertaining because she's smiling. She looks enthusiastic and warm. I love this. The gentleman, I'm assuming it's your husband. He looks a little more camera shy, but I kind of like the balance of the two. So I'm intrigued like what's going to happen here.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another food review. So in my previous video I have shown you about the reviews of snacks. So today I'm going to review about kimbap. In that video I already told you that I haven't tried kimbap yet, so I told him that I want to try kimbap, and today we will be finally reviewing about about that. So here it is with me right now. It looks yummy. But let's eat it and taste it.
All right, so I really liked the close-ups that you had of this. So you showed me exactly what kimbap is, and this is really good. So as you know, food reviews, we want to really show the food. I think a lot of times with food reviews, it's less, there's a difference between like a food review and a food reaction. So a reaction like, oh, this is kimchi, oh, it's so spicy. Whereas a food review is like, oh, this is kimchi and it has these ingredients and this is what it tastes like. This is what it feels like. And I'm taking the viewer on a journey as if they're eating it themselves. So it kind of depends on what you want to do. But you say it's a review. So I like this close-up shot. You're showing me the different colors of kimbap. And it's lunchtime, y'all. It's 12:20 here in Korea. So it's like, ooh, kimbap sounds good. Huh? I think, Sophia, you've inspired me. You've influenced me. You're an influencer now. You've influenced me to eat kimbap. One thing that I would do, we talked earlier about L cuts and J cuts. So you have the A roll there, and then you stop and you put this footage in, then you stop. And your first word is because. If you take that audio and slide it under this video. So people are seeing the kimbap, but they're hearing the audio from the next one. So like this. So now you're like, because ... So it's just a matter of in your editing program. It's just a matter of in your editing program pulling it under.
I told him that I want to try kimbap.
And I love the playfulness, you know, you made me laugh. Like if you can make somebody laugh, they're going to be a fan. So, and as I watch this, I know Sophia can't use chopsticks. It's pretty funny. One thing that I would say whenever we are talking about food and cultural things, we want to be really careful to be accurate because people can get really offended if they see it. So I know in one of these, you're trying to describe the ingredients. Yeah, so you said there's gam, rice, vegetables, fish, and tofu. But actually that yellow thing is what's called danmuji. I'm not sure you're talking about a yellow thing. It's either the danmuji, the pickled radish, or it's egg, scrambled egg, but it's not tofu, it's not dugu. So you want to make sure you're presenting this accurately. So sometimes, you know, this is where you research and you say, all right, so in this, there's also fish cake, omok, which you talked about, the spicy thin thing. So we want to represent people's cultures accurately because people will get, you know, sometimes they'll be in the comments like, hey, excuse me. But other times I'm like, excuse me. So you want to be really cautious about that. Even down here in your description, you mentioned Korean sushi. I would tread very lightly on calling something like a Korean sushi. It's a very kind of sensitive topic. So I would not necessarily compare, just give it its own thing. But overall, I really like this video. I would like if you took like these lights in the back and put them like on the bed. So we have a little more, you know, color. But overall, you guys make a good team of kind of Sophia's very active and enthusiastic motions, and the husband's a little like more camera shy. You guys make a good duo. I enjoyed it. Cool. All right, so let's move on to the third one. So this is Raksali Ecuador. I'm assuming it's Ecuador and Korea. I don't really speak Spanish, Portuguese. I don't know. All right, so let's take a look at this really quickly. So first of all, we can see one thing I would be cautious of is the lighting. Lighting is really hard, but if you can get rid of some of those shadows, it would be really helpful. And also the flipping of the screen. So as you can see, all of these snacks are backwards. So either on your cell phone, if you're using the front facing cell phone, again, use the back facing. But change so it's flipped accurately, because it says like, does it say sweet potato snack? It says like Tiwas Otata cooked, you know what I mean. But overall, when I look at this at the beginning, I'm like, oh, they're smiling, like you have all these snacks. I love a good snack review. Let's take a little look at this.
Recontra que bien. En el video de hoy, como ya se dieron cuenta, vamos a estar probando productos coreanos. Y antes de comenzar, me presento, yo soy Roseli Paulé y sé bienvenido y bienvenida a mi canal. Tengo unas invitadas especiales, a continuación ellas se van a presentar.
Hola, hola, mi nombre es Nayolin Velázquez, tengo 18 años y es mi primera vez probando los snacks coreanos y ya estoy ansiosa por probarlos.
Hola, hola, mi nombre es Nicole Velázquez, tengo 18 años y estoy muy ansiosa por probar los snacks coreanos.
Bueno, es la primera vez que vamos a probar snacks coreanos, ahora sí vamos a comer. Pues ahí dice sweet potato, son snacks. Mírenlo.
¿Y qué más me llama la atención? Sí, este de aquí.
So as you go through this, I like all the different graphics, the sound effects, you're putting some text on the screen and these arrows, all that stuff is really good. I like the banter, even though I can't understand everything you're saying, between all the participants. It's very interesting. And I love these, the honey flavored sticks there, the kwabegi ones. Those are my personal favorite. But yeah, I'd like to see maybe like some close-ups. So if you're showing the snacks, like, maybe dump some in a bowl and then, give us a nice close-up and, maybe break it so we can see kind of what's inside. So again, take to the viewer because they don't know what it smells like and feels like. So by showing them the different textures and, close-ups and wide angles and how big are they? Is it as big as my finger or is it as big as my hand? This is where close-ups will really help. And every few seconds, if you're putting a graphic, I think that'll really help your duration. So you're at 13 minutes, 47 seconds. Might be a little long. You might try to get that down a little bit. So there might be some room to kind of cut some footage out. But if not, I think overall it's interesting. I like how you have the positioning there. So you guys are all taking up the screen, you have the snacks in front. Overall, really good effort. Again, you're making me hungry here. Oh, my favorite snacks. They're good ones. But yeah, the lighting, so it's hard. But if you have like at least 2 lights, then ideally 3 is best. But play around with it. See if you can get some of those shadows out of there. Cool. All right, let's move on to the next one. Luminous J vlog, the Korea that I experienced. All right, so I want to put vlog here. I would put, the Korea that I experienced dash something vlog, just for keyword research. Luminous J, though, you don't have a description. So again, nobody can find you in search engine. So if you want views, you're going to have to type out this description. You get 5,000 characters, guys. Try to use as many of them as you can. In this video, this is about my first experience traveling to Korea in 2019, whatever, right? And list as many keywords. So we have a 17-minute and 24-second video. It's a long one, but we'll see. Let's jump into it.
Ta-da! Ta-da! Hi guys! Welcome to my video. So this vlog's title is The Korea That I Experienced.
Okay, so start off around the first bat, 14 seconds. I like that jumping, like, ta-da, like it's really cute. You're smiling. I'm like, oh, she's got a good on-camera presence. I like the yellow shirt. It's very, vibrant. So I think you're gonna be a very vibrant, or I guess maybe luminous person, but you don't need to tell me the title, right? I've seen the title, I clicked the title. So you're kind of wasting that first 30 seconds, right? Just jump right into it. You don't need to think, oh, this isn't, we see the title.
So this is all about my experience from visiting Korea back in 2015. It was the springtime and it was just for 1 week. And we planned the itinerary in such a way that we could explore places that I wanted to explore within a week. So I was really lucky because one of my best friends, one of my closest high school friends, was in Korea, and we got to spend time there. And
okay, so again, we're 46 seconds in. this is, why it's so important to really get that hook. So I think, sometimes it's really good to kind of script that first few seconds, or you could even just do a voiceover if you need to. But I think if you would have made a little tighter, like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you about the time that I went to South Korea 2015. It was so cool, so I was able to meet up with my friends. Today I'm going to show you the best things that I did, so stick around. Something kind of like that. I'm previewing what I'm going to do, but I'm also just kind of tightening it up. And again, show me if you can. This would be a good time to put a montage of some videos or some pictures as you're talking. Show me your best friend. You say you met your best friend from high school. This would be a perfect time. Show me a picture of you and your friend wearing hanboks and you're at Kinfluencer Palace. You're hanging out. Like, that would really take me on a journey, because for a vlog or a story time, I want to be a part of your journey. Right? I don't want to hear your story. I want to be like, we're together. We're chingus, we're hanging out. So as I clicked through this, I watched this the other day. And there were times where you gave some
during the plane ride.
So kind of like that. So you're talking about the plane ride after the footage. You could just have brought that footage in just to keep it more smoother and also to cut out some of the time. So again, when I went through this, I loved, the illustrations, but you could have also just made them full screen to really illustrate it. And, you kept them for quite a long time. So overall, I enjoyed listening. Yeah, especially towards the end, I found it to be a little more engaging. But remember, if you have like this nice picture here, the cherry blossoms, that's a really cool picture. I would have liked to see that maybe as a thumbnail, or that at the beginning to grab my attention, because everybody likes flowers, right? So people will really stay tuned for that. The War Memorial, very cool. So yeah, if you had any video footage, and you can learn different effects where you can zoom in and zoom out, and you can take that still image and make it a little more dynamic. But overall, I enjoyed your video. I think, again, if you could tighten it up, maybe make it 8 to 10 minutes. Sometimes you have to challenge yourself. I do that a lot. I edit the video and I go back the next day and I'm like, okay, I want to cut out 2 minutes of this video. And I just boom, boom, boom. I force myself to keep it really tight. Well, all right, but good job, good job. And then finally, BB Patino blog. That's why I recognized you and your baby. All right, so let's take a look here. You're going to the beach in Korea. Gunpyeong.
Llegamos. Y llegamos al mar.
Okay, first of all, this music, y'all. I like this music, but it's really kind of overplayed. The YouTube library, audio library, is expanding a lot. There's so much music in there. And so I feel like you have to use the same thing that every vlogger has used for the past 3 years, like do 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 do. Like, it's been in a million things. So I think you are more creative. I think you could make it a little more original. Go through that. If you don't have Epidemic Sound, which is the best source for background music, it's $15 a month. The audio library in YouTube is great these days, or is better these days, I should say.
Vamos a ver qué lugar es este. Se llama Gumbyong Jigu. Let's go. Ya no es arena, es piedritas. Wow. Qué decepción. Somos las únicas personas andando pues, dentro del agua. Las demás personas están por fuera. Pero el agua no está tan fría. Bueno, y tampoco estamos tan metidos.
Okay, so at the beginning there, like the first minute, it's pretty strong, pretty solid. I don't understand everything you're saying. no offense, but I like all the different angles, and even when you're showing the kid, you're showing her sleeping, you're showing, from the top down, and transitioning to the bubbles. All of that stuff is really good for, for vlogging and for telling the story. Oh, another ad.
취미생활의 시작. 홈트 스타터는 운동장 비먼저. 초보.
So I think, I'm not a huge daily vlogger person, but this is my favorite because I love traditional markets. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I love the traditional markets. And so I thought you were able to capture this pretty well with all the different angles. And I kind of felt like I was walking there with you, kind of you're walking behind. I kind of feel like I'm part of the family, which is what we want.
Tranquila, ¿cierto?
And I like the background music is really soft and low, right? It's not like blaring. It's just soft enough that I can kind of hear it, and it helps the mood. It helps tell the story. So I think overall, BB Patino, you are really on the right track. Like, you captured some really good footage. You have a good storyline. When they cook the shrimp here, isn't it crazy? You just drop the shrimp in there and cook them on salt. That's so good. I've had that before. Yeah, overall, this is a really strong entry. And I think if you have your keywords, see, again, I think you could have done a lot more with your description. In English, when I recorded this video, I was 3 months pregnant. This was a year ago, 2020, the end of spring. Right, we could go so much more. Like, this is in this video, I vlog my experience going to Gyeongpyeong Beach, which is located on blah, blah, blah. And we go to this market. Keywords, keyword phrases. And you're going to show up in search. When you show up in search, people will watch you. So focus on that. But overall, guys, I enjoyed watching all of them. I enjoyed watching all your guys' videos. There's so many that I wanted to give feedback to, but if we couldn't get to them today, then if you would like me to discuss them with you, or if you have any specific questions, then contact me. I'll give you my contact information at the end, and we can go from there. But I guess maybe now is a good time for questions. I see there's a whole bunch of chats coming up. So how should I couldn't keep all of your comments. I couldn't see them as I was talking. So you guys have, thank you for your helpful advice. My pleasure. My pleasure, Sophia. Yes. Bravo. Yeah, thank you. Ecuador. Hungary, me too. Very awesome, guys. You guys all did a really good job. Like I said, I think most of you are at a better starting point than I was a few years ago, so you are good to go. All right, so I guess now is question time. So how should we do this? Okay. So okay. Oh, so if you guys have a question, then you can raise your hand, the virtual hand thing, or I guess raise your real hand, and then we'll open your mic. Is that right? Oh, or you guys can type it. Okay, or you can type. Let's look at this one. Sanjalina. What should we do if we have two different niches that we really want to do but can't really let go of any? Well, are your niches connected? If they are, then maybe find a way to put them together.
I don't just have a connected niche. Like, one of my niche, because I started with a motivational channel, but then I went on to Korean. So right now I post Korean as well as some of motivational and with mental health related issues. So how do I go with both? Because I really love both and I make content in both. So.
Nothing's stopping you from starting a second channel though, right? Like, you could have a Korean channel and you can have the mental health motivational thing, or if you can find a way to put them together. Because for the most part, if I click on your video because I want to hear some motivational information, then the next video is about Korean BB cream. I'm like, I don't care about that. I don't want to watch that. So your audiences are going to be too separate. They're going to be too different. So if you can't find a way, the channels are free, and people who are, if you have an established audience, and you might think, oh, I want to get in front of those audiences. They're not going to care. So they're just not going to watch your videos. So then your click-through rate's going to go down. And your click-through rate goes down, then YouTube's not going to serve your videos to anybody. So I would recommend starting a second channel. It's a lot of work, but you can then, you don't want to be the girl who does motivational and Korean content. That's just too different. Unless you can find a way to put it together. Maybe do like depends on what your Korean content is. If you're doing Korean language, or maybe you're doing Korean beauty, maybe like Korean, like get ready with me combined with, motivational, mental health, speech or something. You can get creative with it. Might just be time to open a second channel.
Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, I see Rebecca has a hand up. So, okay. Well, Rebecca, then we'll go to Cass.
Okay. I am super shy. So the question is how to gain confidence in front of the camera.
That's a good question. How many people are camera shy? Many of us, right? Rebecca, I tell you, the first video, and it's still on my channel. You can go back and watch it. I was much thinner back then. I told you this Corona weight, y'all. But I was so shy. Like my first one was I went to a dog park near my house with our doggy cafe. I was so scared. I wouldn't even talk to the camera in the cafe. I had to literally go outside and cross the street. And anytime somebody would see me like talking to my camera, I would get shy. You know what? It finally just dawned on me. I was like, I want to do this. I want to make YouTube videos. And I want to, go for it. So I just had to push through it. So I think just little by little. And I'm not sure where you live. Rebecca, where do you live? What country are you in?
I am from Mexico.
Mexico, okay. So I don't know how it is in Mexico, but vlogging isn't new, you guys, right? So people are used to this. If I'm in Korea, yeah, sometimes I get kind of weird looks, but I guess I don't care because that 10 seconds of awkwardness goes away. And then I have this video that lasts forever. If I go to a place like the Philippines to vlog, oh, they love it. They embrace vloggers. They want it. They're like, they don't know who I am, but they love that stuff. So I guess overall, just practice. And I know it's very cliche. You're like, oh, you want a magic tip. The only tip is just try it. Just keep going. Edit your videos, then you'll see like, oh, I'm a little awkward. But also don't strive for perfection. If you're a little awkward on camera, embrace that. Be like, yo, I'm Rebecca and I'm a little bit awkward today. And that's cool. We'll laugh. We'll do it. So also, I don't know if you vlog in your house or if you go outside. If you go outside, one good thing to do is just start somewhere safe. If you start vlogging in your house and then you go outside and then you're around people, it's less of a contrast. It's easier to get started somewhere where you feel safe. So, but make 100 videos. Rebecca, how many videos have you made?
My channel is almost 1 year. So it's so difficult to me because I am so shy and I can't. So I am trying.
Well, that's all you can do, right? Just try. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Just enjoy the process because many of us are shy. You guys, I am painfully shy. Nobody ever believes in this, but I am a really shy person. If I had time, I would tell you kind of my whole story about how I kind of came out of being shy. It's really long. It involves a lot of soju. No, I'm joking. But yeah, just the more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes, and the more you'll gain an audience. And when you gain an audience, you gain those fans, and they're giving you good feedback, then you want to make them happy. So it helps. So just keep going. Don't give up. Little by little, you'll warm up to it.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure. All right, next let's go to Cass. Yes, Cass.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I love your background. Where are you watching from, Cass?
Thank you. From Mexico too.
Hola.
Hola. So my question is, like, for example, I am very like energetic, but when I record, I last like 1 hour recording, so my energy goes down. And I'm always like, oh, but because you can see my video, like, oh, yes. And then I'm like, yes, and this and that. So what advice can you give us? And I have another one.
Okay.
My channel is about K-beauty and everything Korean, but I don't know if my audience like that, like K-pop, K-dramas, K-beauty. I do everything. What do you, as a viewer, can give us advice on that too?
Okay, sure.
Thank
So
you.
the first one, my pleasure. The first question, how do you sustain your energy? I run into this problem as well because, like I told you, I do these live streams, right? So every Sunday I go out and I take my phone and I'm walking for 2 or 3 or 4 hours and I'm talking, you know, it's not a conversation, I'm talking nonstop. And after about an hour and a half or 2 hours, my energy starts going down, right? But I've learned to kind of pace myself. Staying hydrated helps a lot. It really does. Like, having a bottle of water and just keeping your throat and everything. And don't be afraid to take a break too. You know, you can edit. So if you have all that energy, and you're like, okay, I need 5 minutes to just use the restroom, just relax, you know, catch up on an email, check Instagram, something. You know, you can do that. And then just, you know, grab a snack, don't let your blood sugar get low, something like that. It really helps. But yeah, staying hydrated really helps. Exactly. There you go. You guys know. The second one, how will you know? Well, if you're doing K-pop and K-beauty and K-fashion and K-dramas, what you do is you go into your analytics cast and you see, all right, well, you know, this video about Korean cosmetics got 5,000 views. This one about a review of, you know, Itaewon class drama got 200 views. Maybe my audience doesn't really care about K-dramas. So maybe that's not something you're going to want to put on. So a lot of it is in your analytics. So go study your analytics and Cass, don't be afraid to ask them. Say, hey guys, what's up? Like, do you like this or what? And then if they say, yo, we love all of it, then do all of it. And if they are like, yeah, we don't really like your cooking videos, be like, all right, I'm going to focus my energy on something else. Oh, I see lots of hands, so I better start going through these fast. Yeah, hopefully that helps. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask your audience. That's why it's good to have a community off of YouTube, because YouTube is hard with comments because they comment, you comment, and then you don't really get notified if they comment back. It's hard to have a conversation. That's why I do Facebook, you know, Instagram is great, all those things, because you can really build that community and talk to them, get to know them. Cool. All right, hope that helps. I'll check out your channel sometime. I want to see. All right, next, I don't know who is next, so I guess I'll just go across the board. So Mahi, hi Mahi. How can I help you?
Hi.
Hello, nice video today.
Thank you so much. So when you were giving feedback on my video, you told me that I should rather look at the camera lens.
Yeah.
I'm actually filming, I usually film from my phone. So when I have tried looking at the camera, but when I look at the camera, it kind of looks awkward because I can't really see myself.
It takes practice.
Yeah. So what about that? And does it have to be that I have to film from like a camera, or
No,
I can just film from phone?
Definitely use your cell phone, right? So if I have my cell phone here, I know the camera is in the front here, right? So if I'm using this, I'm going to look at this circle, right? I'm not even going to look at myself, because if I start looking at myself, I stare at myself. I'm just so good looking, you know. It's a joke, Mahi. But yeah, just try to keep looking at it. It feels very awkward, but when you go to watch the video, it looks much better. But what I would recommend is actually flip it around. Vlog like this. Using these back cameras, your back camera is much better quality, and then you don't have the problem of looking at yourself because all you have is this, right? So sometimes if I do have to vlog with my phone, like if I'm going somewhere that I can't take my DSLR, or if it's just a spontaneous thing, I'll vlog like this, like, hey guys, welcome, blah, 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 blah. Well, maybe you can't see, but I'm like this. So my screen is here. So I just have to trust, you know, so I'll do a testing, review it. Okay, it's framed well, and then go back. That way I can only see this. And the quality will be so much better. So that'd be my first advice, Mahi. Just get used to looking at the camera. And second, you can't just flip it around. Don't use the front facing camera. Use the back facing camera. Quality will be much better, and you'll be guaranteed to look at the camera.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Keep up the good work, though. All right, next, let's go to Karimi. Hi, good. It looks like evening there. Good evening to you.
Hi, I just want to know, you mentioned it that there are like some tool for keyword searching. So what is the name of that?
So there's there's a few of them, but the ones I use, one's called Tube Buddy, TubeBuddy, Tube Buddy. Can I in the chat? So one is Tube Buddy. The other one is called VidIQ. And so these are both free. There's a free version. There's also a paid version if you want, but you can download an extension into Chrome on your browser. I think there's also a phone app, and you can research different keyword phrases. And as you're going through and you're doing your title and your description and your tags, all of that stuff, it'll tell you your score out of 100. And so if it's like you're ranking really low, like, I need to keep working on my description. So there's also another one called Morning Fame. I don't really use it, but TubeBuddy and vidIQ, start with those. It'll help you a lot.
Thank you.
No problem. Good luck. Let's go to Justine. Hi, Justine. How are you tonight? Or today? It looks like daytime there.
Yes, it's morning time. I'm from the Philippines.
Ooh, my favorite.
Yeah, I noticed you did a food video in the Philippines.
I love Boracay.
My question is, like a while ago, you mentioned how important niche is, and like how you lose your viewers and maybe some subscribers' attention because of it. And I'm as a person, I'm very adventurous. I like trying this and that and this. So recently, I feel like I've been losing my views, but then at the same time, I want to continue those because I do K-drama reaction videos, and now I'm exploring and studying Korean vlogs, and sometimes I also like traveling. So what do you suggest for me to just put my other videos on a different channel instead and then focus on the Korean drama reaction for one YouTube channel because that's where I get views?
If your travel vlogs are around the Philippines, then it might very well be that it's not connected to K-drama reactions at all. So it might be better, to do that. If you think you can get an audience of people who love the Philippines, but also love K-drama reactions, like, I don't know if you do like a Pinoy reaction to Korea or something, and you maybe in the Philippines or trying to explore different aspects, traveling around, you can compare it to Korea or talk about Korea. Maybe you can somehow make it all combined. But if not, I think reaction videos are usually for a certain subset of an audience. Like I personally am not I don't like reaction videos, just my personal thing. But if you have a travel vlog, I will watch that any day. But if it's a K-drama or K-pop or any type of reaction, it's just not my thing. And I think a lot of people are that way.
But so then most of my views come from there, so I want to know how to balance like the Korean and my Korean drama reactions. Because as of now, I cannot go to Korea yet because of COVID.
Exactly. Well, don't be afraid to ask your audience. Again, like I told somebody else, just ask them, hey, do you guys want to see both of them? If they say no, then move them to separate channels, make two different audiences, two different platforms, So yeah, don't be afraid to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. All right, good luck, Justine. All right, let's go to Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Sarah down in Australia.
Hello, how are you?
Nice to meet you. You too. I saw your video about winters in Korea versus Australia.
Oh, well, 3 more weeks, and then the sunshine, and then it's going to be hot.
Well, we're kind of the opposite here.
Oh, no, I prefer the cold. The cold's much nicer. Yeah, especially in Australia.
I've never experienced Australia, not yet, so we'll have to see. Maybe someday I'll get it too.
It gets hot.
Cool. What's your question for me, Sarah?
Okay, so I did have the opportunity of going to Seoul right before COVID hit. And I got lots of photos and whatnot, but a lot of the videos I want to do are based around photos that I was very limited in getting. And you mentioned before about websites that have like stock photos. My question is probably more copyright. So how do you use these? Do you have to actually mention the people, like where you got the photos from, or rely on your own photos or video that you got?
Yeah, so I think it depends on the owner of the footage. So I don't use a lot of stock footage, honestly, but I have used the name escapes me. There's a website where you can basically buy like a one-time license. So like if I want a drone footage or time lapse, I can just buy that like $10 or $20. But usually you don't have to. You know, link to them or give them credit, but it depends on them. I also use Canva, Canva.com.
I have Canva.
Yeah, and if you have the subscription one, there's a lot of stock footage in there, and so I use that sometime as well. Yeah, so I pay like $13 a month, and not so much for my personal channel, but for some of the social media I do for other companies, I'll use a lot of that stock footage, and it's totally free.
I like the backgrounds in Canva. I've actually used Canva a lot in most of my videos, but being the free version, it's quite limited. So I think I might have to just bite the bullet and go for the paid subscription.
That's what I do. It's been worth it for me.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Good luck to you, Sarah. Hope you can visit again. Stay warm. Cool. All right, let's go to the next one. We have Supi Mila.
Hello. I'm from India. Actually, I got all the answers from your previous questions.
Fantastic.
Whatever they ask. So I just one question that previously when I started my channel last year, that time I used to make videos using photos. I mean, I didn't show my face there. But after joining the Kinfluencer, I am starting the channels, or I am making the videos where I am showing my face. As I'm a shy person, and there are some family issues also, so it's a little bit difficult to make I make the videos where I am showing my face. So if I now again start making videos using the photos, so will it be helpful, or shall I continue what I am doing now?
I think the only way to find out is to try instead of your analytics, right? Because so much of what we think might happen depends on our audience. So it depends on what your audience wants, Supi. So if they respond well, then great. Maybe they're not going to respond well, but you really don't know until you try. Anything could happen. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but I would just say experiment, check your analytics, and then act accordingly.
Okay, and one more thing that actually I was that many of the YouTubers are making the videos on K-foods and especially mukbang type. So I wanted to make videos in different type, like related to culture, like Chuseok, Korean Independence Day, which is almost same as ours, 15th August. So
this weekend.
I wanted to make on like that type of video, culture type videos. So, but I think that audience my subscribers are not that much interested. So shall I switch to another one?
Well, if you think your audience is going to be interested, and if you want views, then either it depends how established your channel is. If you only have a few subscribers and a few videos, then it's not too late. But if you have thousands of subscribers and you have a fan base that's used to one thing, then it might be hard to pivot. But you can slowly change your content. Some people have done it successfully, like Mr. Beast. But otherwise, you know, again, you might want to start a second channel or use that stuff on a different platform. But I think, you know, the Korean, Indian, there's a lot of potential there for those audiences. So, you know, don't be afraid to start a second channel and just make it just that and get really in that niche. You might be an early adapter and be able to be really successful with that. But you don't know until you check your analytics.
Okay. And one thing that, shall I make more videos? I mean, the videos frequently, or because I don't get much time to make videos, so make maybe once or twice in a month. So will it be okay, or I shall start making more videos in a month?
So your question is quality versus quantity. That is a hard question.
Yes, exactly.
That is basically every
My friends are talking
YouTuber's-
that you should make more videos if you want to get the more subscribers or viewers, but I really didn't get the time, that much time to make videos.
I will tell you, other YouTubers might disagree with me, but I will tell you my personal opinion. Focus on quality, because there's billions of videos. You guys know every 1 minute, 300 hours of content is uploaded to YouTube. Every 1 minute, 300 hours. Think about that. Your content needs to be good and stand out. So if you're just putting out a whole bunch of really quick videos just for videos, nobody's going to care. But if even just once a month you put out a really good video, it'll stand out and people will watch it. And then you're going to go viral, maybe. And then you're going to get an audience. So I would focus on just, you know, really killer, amazing video. Do the best you can. I think maybe 5-10 years ago, yeah, you could just put out video every day, daily vlogging. Right? No, now nobody does daily vlogging because we expect more. We expect closer to Netflix quality sometimes.
Thank you. So
is it done? All right, guys. So I think, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to answer the rest of your questions because we are out of time. So sorry about that, but I will be available if anybody would like to talk later. Can I give you my contact information really quickly? This one here. All right. So really just 2 seconds. If you guys don't know, this is called the Best Ever Food Review Show. He started a YouTube channel back in 2015, right here in Korea, living in Haeongchon, my neighborhood in Itaewon. Now he's got like 7 or 8 million subscribers, one of the top influencers in food and travel. But you can see this is something he posted. He wanted to give up after 2 years and he didn't, and he's grown now. This ends at 2018, but in 2021, he has a staff of 12 people, guys, and is like a millionaire. It's great content. So don't give up. He wanted to give up because he wasn't successful at first, and he kept going, and huge inspiration. Somebody who started right here in Korea. But again, guys, thank you so much. If you have any questions or you want to stay in touch, then do feel free to contact me. You can find me on YouTube at Tastes Seoul Good, or if you have a quick question, you can email me, paul@tastesseoulgood.com, or again, my community is facebook.com/group/tastesseoulgood. Come join. I'll be happy to answer you questions and give you advice about Korea and show you around, live tours and all of that good stuff. All right. So thank you again so much to Kinfluencer and everybody here for hanging out. And guys, we're going to take a picture. All right. So maybe I'm going to stop this sharing. Stop there. All right, so as should we do is we should all pose for a few seconds. All right, guys, so everybody get the nice model face and strike a pose, including the baby, and then we're going to take a picture. So hold your pose for just a few seconds. All right, and change your pose. All right, so let's go for a really funny pose or something. We're good? All right, guys. Thank you. You've been amazing. I hope you learned something. I hope you weren't too bored by all my ramblings. But again, do feel free to reach out anytime. I'll be happy to talk to you. I'll be happy to follow your journeys as you're going through YouTube. So I really enjoyed this time today. So have a great day, guys. Stay safe, stay warm, or stay cool wherever you are in the world. And I hope to see you soon. All right. Thank you, guys.